So, I kind of was in a weird transitional thing in my life. I was thinking I wasn't going to be acting anymore, and I was writing, and I had this guy who called me who said he would be my manager, and truly in the beginning, I think his office was like a closet in a beauty salon, and I was his only client. But he called me and he was like, "Who are these people? They want you for this movie, but who are they? I mean, who are they?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm sitting here in my boxer shorts and you're calling me from a beauty salon." I mean, we need to ask ourselves that question. But then I said, "Let me read it." And I got the screenplay, and it was so beautifully written. It was so, it's just like, it was providence that this landed in my life at that time, and it was really a life-changing. I felt it when I read the script. I felt that this is going to be a life-changing experience, regardless of what popularity, whatever happened with the film. I just felt like it was going to be amazing, and so I told them, "Yes, I'll do the movie, and I'll drive myself there." And but like 3 days later, Jared Hess was in town from Salt Lake, where he lived in Los Angeles, and they called me and they said, "Hey, we're at some apartment, we're doing some pre-production, and Jared would like to see you." And I was like, "I gotta meet this guy, it's amazing." And I didn't know anything about him. Little did I know that he was only 22 years old, and when I got to this apartment, here's this big, shy bear of a kid. And I walk in, I'm like, "Dude, amazing." And he goes, I'm like, "No, seriously, this is really incredible." And he's like, and then we stand there awkwardly for like 3 minutes. And I'm like, "What can I do here?" And then he looks at me and he goes, "Uncle Rico." Yes, exactly, amazing. And he says, "Can I talk to you about the character?" And I said, "Of course, that's what we're supposed to do, right?" And then he says, "Let's go outside." So we walk outside, and it's a very busy street, a lot of cars going by, and I'm thinking, okay, this is up. I could barely hear him in the house. And then all of a sudden, he's looking at me, and he's like hemming and hawing. It looks like he's trying to tell me something. And then he goes, "You see, Uncle Rico, well, he runs like this." And I mean, he goes down the block. He's like down the block, and I'm watching this guy go, and I'm thinking, that's the most specific direction I've ever gone in my life. That's crazy. And he comes back huffing and puffing. And I'm like, wow. And he goes, "Uncle Rico runs just like David Hasselhoff in Baywatch." I don't want to break it to you, buddy, but that didn't look anything like David Hasselhoff in Baywatch. And then he gets very serious and he goes, "Uncle Rico is a cross between David Hasselhoff meets Burt Reynolds meets Elvis." Say no more. But first impressions being the most important thing, I find. And I arrived in Preston, and I don't even know where the Plaza Motel is, that horrible place, and I was driving around, and there's no trucks, nobody, it's not like that kind of a movie. There's only one trailer, and that was for the llama. And I see a few kids, they're really quite young, standing in the middle of a park, around a park bench. And I wander in, and they're filming, and I didn't realize it, but, and as I approach, I see Kip and LaFonda playing footsie under the table. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is genius. And then I meet these knuckleheads. And all of us were so committed to what we were doing, and we were so protective over, I felt like we were very, very protective over this. And we never, I don't feel like we ever really felt like we were making a comedy.
I feel like we felt like we were making a true story that was unusual. But I think that's part of why it works so much, because I think if anybody was kind of ham-boning, it wouldn't work.